That is such a weak bell. Anyway, welcome to another edition of Kiwanis. It is a Kiwanis bell, by the way. I'd like to just show that to the camera. It is a Kiwanis bell. Anyway, welcome to Kiwanis Connects. I'm Aaron Phillips, Doc Val from California, and something John Stiles and I talked about before our guest John Crawford joined us. John, we think you hold a distinction as the most visited guest we've had on Kiwanis Connects over the years. Congratulations.
Most visited. Okay. Does that mean I'm
Yeah.
getting the most views?
Well, you're that, or you're at least being invited the most, but you've been on the
Oh,
show the most as a guest. So
well,
that
so
just goes to serve your well-rounded nature and responsibility within Kiwanis. Jack of all trades and master of every one of them that you do. Good morning, Douglas. Good morning, everybody out there. Thank you for watching another edition of Kiwanis Connects. And by the way, Happy New Year to everybody out there. And I'm not just talking the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. I'm talking the new Kiwanis New Year, October 1, earlier this week. We turned the page, I believe it was Wednesday, if my calendar is correct.
Absolutely.
So here we are, new administrative year. A lot to talk about. Doc Val, how are you doing this week?
You know, I am sleep deprived and happy. And so it is so exciting to see you, John. And one of the things I want to share with you, we need to do the metrics because you may truly have the most views. And I think after this show, how can you not?
Exactly. So I just want to remind everybody, thank you for watching us on Facebook. Remember, you have 3 channels there, WVBV TV Virginia Beach, WWDB TV, or of course, the Kiwanis Connect show page. Now, if you prefer YouTube and not supporting Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, that's okay. Same 3 channels are available on YouTube. Either way, we appreciate y'all watching. And if you need to revisit anything we're going to talk about today, of course, you can go back to any of those pages. Pull up the video, check it out, rewind it, share it, especially today's topics, because today we're going to talk about the Kiwanis Voices, which is the new segment of Kiwanis membership. And I don't want to take any more lightning out of the bottle for our discussion, but that is today's topic. Now we have a new year. We have new things to focus on. As always, though, please feel free to jot your comments down in the message box for both Facebook and YouTube. We will get to them. We will respond to any questions that you have. And of course, as always, we want to...
Just ignore that.
Oh, okay. Hi. We want to also thank all of our sponsors today. We have Comfort Care Home Care. By the way, I have a surprise for Doc Val. We do have a new commercial that's going to run today. She don't even know I did this. Quite frankly, it was so off the cuff. I'm surprised I did it in one take. Let's put it that way. So that'll be airing today. And all of our messages, of course, all of our clubs, whichever spots we got running today, we got them all going. All right. With that, good morning. Who's out there? Douglas, Chuggy, Andy's out there driving and listening. Mama Claudia's on the way to trust. Sounds like there's a big trustee meeting this weekend, y'all.
I'll be on my way. Right after this podcast, I'm on my way.
Well, there you go. Sounds like Chuggy's on her way already. Anyway, so thank you all for watching. Doc Val, let's get rocking and rolling because we do have a lot to do today. Of course, we have our regular segments, Mental Health Moments with Melissa Atwell. We have the Wow Moments. We have Spotlights. And, of course, today's Bad Dad Jokes. I have them right here off the presses. I'll tell you what, in honor of John being with us, today's Bad Dad Jokes, you ready for this one? Nonprofit themes. That's what today's going to be about, nonprofits. So just remember, folks, I just read them. I don't write them. Okay, Doc Val, take it away.
Well, first I'm going to do a shout out to Andy. He's actually on early.
Yeah.
Listening.
Thank you, Andy.
And so most people out there are used to me. It's opening clubs is so key in what we do. And there has been so much chatter out there about our International President's Initiative, the Kiwanis Voices. And so I'm so excited because, John, you're one of those experts and you actually bring in that experience of actually having been in every part of the family for the K family. So thank you for being here. And how did you get involved in this whole Kiwanis Voices process?
Okay, well, thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on the show. And yeah, it's I'm not really sure how it centered on me, but I found out about it probably about the time that it was first approved, which would have been April, May of this year. And I first heard about it from our international trustee at the time, Gary Jander. Gary and I are close, and I get to hear sometimes the latest scoop, whatever's happening at the international level. We get a lot of that directly from Gary. So that's where I first heard about it, and I'm thinking, okay, this might work. I'm maybe a little skeptical at first, but I didn't have a lot of information. And then I got a long phone call a few weeks later from our Circle K district administrator, Patty Ryder, and Patty and I go way back. And she was talking about this new program and how it could work, and some of the reaction that was out there when it was first unveiled, and positive, and a lot of it not so positive. So we were talking about ways where we could sort of clear up any kind of misconceptions and really focus on what the program is intended for, and really get people excited about it. And so ever since then, I've been doing workshops on the Kiwanis Voices program and getting the word out wherever I can.
So I'm really excited because that means you're going to be able to do some myth busting for us today and really set us straight on what the Kiwanis Voices is all about. So if you're not a Kiwanian yet and you're out there listening to us, we're always trying to figure out how to bring in new members. And so in a short blip, not the 2-hour presentation blip, what is Kiwanis Voices?
So Kiwanis Voices is an attempt to really get young people involved in the Kiwanis organization. Those who were previously involved through our Key Club program, through Circle K, we want to keep those people retained, and they've enjoyed Kiwanis. They've been doing service with the Kiwanis family. They've been getting our leadership training. We want to continue them and help them make that transition so that they can become, after high school, after college, they can become Kiwanis members, full-fledged Kiwanis members. And then we're also happy to take people off, out from the general public, off the street, whoever wants to join in. But every time you go to a Kiwanis convention somewhere, the big question is not just how do we get more members, but how do we get younger members? And this is the latest attempt to do that. And we think that's something that's going to be appealing for young people ages 18 to 26 who are not necessarily going to college, or maybe they're going to a college that doesn't have Circle K as an option for them. This is a way for them to continue the service that they love through Kiwanis by actually joining Kiwanis and doing so at a less expensive rate.
I just had this thought when I think about Kiwanis Voices, and some people go, wow, isn't that like young professionals or whatever? And I've been sharing with them, it's like the young professional clubs with guide rails and an end date. Because most of the young professional clubs that I've been visiting over the past year, they're older than me. So,
I mean, young is a state of mind, right?
I was going to say those are seasoned young professionals.
Yes, they're leaning more towards the Golden K, which is part of our family.
There's a phrase I haven't heard in a while.
But it's one of those things that I love because you know that you're going to be around peers that are having like experiences. And so as we're moving into this, you said 26. So that means on their birthday, when they turn 27, right? They time out, they Logan's Run. What happens?
So it's not quite that extreme, but what happens is this program is geared for young people aged 18 to 26. Mm-hmm. And when they turn 27, they are basically graduating out of the Kiwanis Voices program and asked to join another Kiwanis club somewhere else. Now, that can happen a couple of ways. They, as individuals, can join a new Kiwanis club somewhere. If they want to form their own Kiwanis club, if they want to join an existing, more traditional Kiwanis club, they can choose that for themselves individually. Or if we have a situation where the whole club is turning 27 all at once, which can happen, the club itself, the Voices Club itself, can convert to a traditional Kiwanis club. And that can happen in situations where we have an entire graduating class of Key Clubbers or Circle Kers that decide, let's form a Kiwanis Voices Club that we can call our own. Maybe they're all about the same age, and if we have a bunch of them turning 27 all at once, then the whole club can convert over, and that's fine.
Okay, but there are some rules out there right now. So right now it says that you have to be brand new to Kiwanis and all of those fun things. So it sounds like there are some great exceptions that a lot of us haven't heard about. So if they have 15 or more members, they can become a brand new Kiwanis club?
So that's right. One of the big questions that keeps coming up is, how do you start the new Kiwanis Voices Club?
Mhm.
Where do you get the members from, and what kind of paperwork is required? What kind of forms are required? What kind of fees are required? These are the questions that I hear most frequently. Um, if you're already familiar with Kiwanis, if you've ever chartered a club before, the process is exactly the same. It's the same paperwork, same signatures. You still have to register with the IRS, the state of whatever state you're in. Um, all the paperwork is the same. You still have to have your prerequisite 15 new members. Existing current Kiwanians do not count toward that 15. You can add them if you like, but it doesn't count toward the 15. And
Mhm.
as long as we can get 15 people that are interested, the nice thing about the Kiwanis Voices program is that your annual dues are only $40 per year. And
Ooh.
again, this is geared toward younger people. So
Mhm.
we're not asking for a lot of money all at once. We're asking for just $40. I mean, that's one night out at Chili's for two people, right? So we're
That's
asking
one
for
night out at Chili's for one.
right. Well, getting that way, yeah. But I mean, for $40 per year, you can join Kiwanis, and that's a really good deal, especially for people who are maybe living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay their rent, trying to find a job, trying to find some permanence in their lives. Age 18 to 26, that's a very transitional period in everybody's life. Everybody. Um, so to ask somebody to come up with, $200 a year for Kiwanis dues at that stage in your life, that can be a lot to ask. I joined Kiwanis when I was 23 because I was already very much in love with the organization. I knew coming out of college I have to join Kiwanis. And I know there's other people out there that feel the same way. They just maybe can't afford to do so, or life gets in the way. So this $40 per year we feel is a fair amount. And there's some other benefits to that, but for that $40 per year, you become a Kiwanis member and part of a Kiwanis club. It's not an SLP club. You don't have to
Mhm.
have permission slips. You don't have to have advisors. You are a Kiwanian for that dollar amount. That's a good deal.
That's
So if
awesome.
someone turns 26 mid-year
Mhm.
during the Kiwanis calendar year, as Val alluded to before, their membership would end when they turn 27, going into the
Uh,
next administrative year. It's not like
right,
if I turn 27 on May 1st, I'm not kicked out of the Voices Club until September 30th, right?
right. That's exactly it. That's my
Okay.
understanding.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, because I'm sitting here thinking of my two clubs that I belong to here in Virginia
Mhm.
Beach, and the Virginia Beach Kiwanis Club in particular. You know, all clubs are looking for members. This particular club could use some younger blood, so to speak. How are some of these more established clubs that would prefer to have these younger members join them versus starting a Voices Club and essentially waiting potentially 8 to 9 years before those individuals might consider joining a Kiwanis Club if their Voices Club doesn't convert to a traditional club? Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, it does, and it's an interesting question because for me personally, I had no problem joining my Kiwanis club when I was 23 because
Mm-hmm.
I knew everybody in that club already, even though they
Right.
were in their 60s and 70s and 80s. I still related to them. I still got along very well with them. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew from the beginning that was going to be my club. And I had no problem with that. Yeah, there's a generation gap at that age, but I worked through it, and that can kind of be fun. I when I first joined, I single-handedly brought the average age of my club down by a whole year. So I did the math. But and certainly that avenue is open to those people who would like to join a traditional Kiwanis club. The rule has always been if you're 18 years old, you can join a Kiwanis club somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and that isn't changing. So if your particular Kiwanis club can appeal to those younger members, if you can attract somebody in that demographic and get them to join your club, you're certainly more than welcome to do that. That isn't changing. That isn't going away.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you hit it on the head, John. Though, and I want to stay there a little bit. If you can attract them, this is not for the normal pathway of someone. This is for a whole new target audience that wouldn't traditionally join a Kiwanis club yet, and so it's not in competition with a traditional club. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, think back to when you were, age 20 or 22. Um, if somebody approached you and said, hey, come and join our Kiwanis Club, you get there and everybody there is, on Social Security, you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, why would I join this club? I don't have anything in common with these people. This is not my crowd.
Yeah, not my dating pool, not my social group, not the people who are going to help me get a job. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's advantages to being to having that exposure to all age groups. But yeah, I think your average 22-year-old, 25-year-old is probably going to be looking to hang out with people their own age, by and large. So this gives them an opportunity to do that. The Kiwanis Voices program is going to be that one particular demographic, people who can relate well to each other. And then hopefully as they serve in the Kiwanis family and as they get more familiar with our organization, they develop those relationships. That makes it easier for them to transition once they do turn 27. Okay, I've been working with this other club across town for a while. I know some of their members and I can hang with them.
Let me stop it right there because we are due to take our first break. We'll pick up that point when we come back on the other side. We have a lot more to come. We have bookvending.com. You're going to hear a message from them, Comfort Care, and a surprise new commercial. Don't go anywhere. Kiwanis Connects will be right back.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchy's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
2 out of 3 kids.
Hey everybody, Aaron Phillips here from the Kiwanis Connect show. Are you trying to recruit for new members? Do you have a huge event coming up that maybe is your biggest fundraiser of the year? But you need to do something different to let people know that it's happening. The same old gives you the same old routine and results. Well, we've got an idea for you. The Kiwanis Connect show offers the opportunity to have customized commercials created to help your club get your message out. And you know what? One of the extra wonderful points of this opportunity is we provide it as a fundraising opportunity. For every $50 donation for the commercial goes to the Rose Float Kiwanis Club. That's right. The very same Rose Float that we see on television every New Year's that represents Kiwanis International will now be supported by these Kiwanis Connects commercials. So if you want more information and get involved, just drop us an email at kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. That's kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. Get your 30, 60, or 90-second customized commercial today, and let's help the Rose Float Kiwanis Club continue to plant its seeds for success. Dun, dun. Oh, we lost Val. Hi, John. It's just John and Aaron here.
It's you and me.
I guess we lost Val there during the commercial break with her connection. Welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Today we're talking about the Kiwanis Voices program, which John is very much involved with. He seems to be the man who's got the answers for the Kiwanis Voices program. We were talking about before the break the transitional period of the age value, the age range. 18 to 26. Younger generation starting to work together who have either been part of the K family previously or who want to get involved, but they're concerned that maybe the social experiment of rubbing elbows with the more experienced Kiwanians in clubs may not be the most comfortable slot for them. Let's kind of go back a little bit, because we're talking about that this got passed, if memory serves, you said like April or May of this past year of being something viable. But how did this idea even come up in the very first place before it got passed? Where did the brainchild, the idea come from?
So this is really our new international president, Michael Mulhall from the New Jersey district.
Right.
He was looking at ways to get younger people involved in Kiwanis because, he ran the numbers. He's a statistical guy, and looking at where our membership is right now, the percentage that we get of our Key Club graduates, we're graduating thousands and thousands and thousands of Key Clubbers every year around the world. And we want those Key Clubbers to continue in Circle K and then eventually into Kiwanis. But our retention rates are so low right now. We are getting less than 2% of all of our Key Club graduates to join Circle K. And then the numbers from Circle K into Kiwanis are just about as bad. That's if we're only retaining 2%, that means we're losing 98%. And we have to do better than that. And so Michael Mulhall took a look at that and said, well, what can we do to reach out? Knowing that not everybody goes to college, not everybody goes to a 4-year school anymore. It's very common for students to take a gap year or start at a 2-year community college or inherit the family business or go into a trade, not go to college at all. So, that percentage of the population represents a big chunk of our Key Club graduates every year. So, what can we do if for those where college is not happening or Circle K is not an option for some reason, how do we give those student leaders a chance to continue the work that they've been doing, the service, the leadership training, the friendships, the socializing? How do we give them a chance to continue that in Kiwanis if Circle K is not an option? And so that's where the Kiwanis Voices program came from.
Where did the name come from? The Kiwanis Voices. First of all, I did not get a memo to asking if they could use the voice as part of that, but that's okay.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Of course. Where did Michael come up with the name of Kiwanis Voices?
You'd probably have to ask him, but I think the idea behind it is that we want every member to have a voice, that this is their organization. When we start a Kiwanis Voices Club, you don't have somebody acting as an advisor or a supervisor telling you, okay, you have to do this, you have to meet at this time on this date at this place, you have to do this project, you have to do this fundraiser. None of that is happening. When you start a Kiwanis Voices program, the power is with the members of that club, and they get to decide when and where they meet. They get to decide what the club is going to be called, what projects they want to support. They are in control. And so, for some of those younger members who join an older, more traditional Kiwanis club, I've seen this happen. We get a young member that joins at age 20 or 25, and then they feel like they're not involved right away. They get drowned out by the people who've been there for 30 years already. They don't always have a chance to make that immediate impact that they're looking for. When you join a Kiwanis club, you want to make a difference right away. Right. And so the Kiwanis Voices program gives those younger people an opportunity to have some control right away over the direction of their Kiwanis club. You get to pick your projects. You get to pick the charities and the programs that appeal most to you. So, again, like I said, you might talk to Michael Mulhall and find, maybe he had some other idea in mind behind the name of Kiwanis Voices, but to me, that's what it stands for, and that's what it represents.
Right on. Doc Val is back. She has joined us again. A little internet hiccup there, boss?
Yep. Just kind of ready to fire our internet company.
There
and so as we move forward, one of the things that I think is a benefit to this is people can trial run being in Kiwanis, and then still use their Circle K and their Key Club discount when they join a Kiwanis club afterwards. But if they join a Kiwanis club at 2022 and it doesn't work and they leave after 6 months, they don't have that benefit of a trial run process. So
it's like a try. Yeah, that's a good thing. It gives people like 7, 8 years, or 8 years, almost 9 years to test drive it. But at the same token, it's like when you hire a new employee to your company, you spend money and time in investing in that individual. You want them to stay long term. So hopefully, with the number of years that someone were to join this club and work side by side with their sponsoring Kiwanis club, then the transition would be natural to either age out to the Kiwanis Club, or as John mentioned earlier, the entire Voices Club, if they all age out together.
And that's what we've been seeing for years already. We put so much time and money and effort and resources into training our own student leaders, and then those student leaders graduate and they go away and they end up joining another club somewhere, another organization with the training that they received from Kiwanis. Why aren't they joining Kiwanis? That's the question. So we're trying to retain that. I personally have never understood how somebody can just quit cold turkey like that. You spend, some of our Key Club lieutenant governors spend 4 years pouring their heart and soul into Key Club, and then our Circle K members, they spend 4 or 5 years pouring their heart and soul into service, into leadership, and then for them to graduate and just stop all of a sudden, I never understood how you can just do that.
Well,
I was just going to say, I'm sorry, Val. I have that scenario going on right now with the business associate. She's in her early 20s, former Key Clubber, former Key Club lieutenant governor. We got to talking a couple of months ago, blah, blah, blah. She's gone with me to 2 Kiwanis clubs. I've taken her as a guest to check out a couple of clubs. And at the last visit, she pulled me aside. And I think members of the club oversold because this is the other club that I belong to, not the Virginia Beach one that I mentioned. This is the Chesapeake Club, where we love young members. We love new members. And they kept mentioning that younger age where they felt like, what's the real reason you want me here? Do you want me here for my service, or do you want me here because I could be somebody's grandchild sitting in this room? So I'm kind of going through that exact scenario right now with a good friend of mine that I'm hoping will become a Kiwanian with one of the clubs. But yeah, I'm going through that right now with somebody. So it makes sense.
Yeah, we really have to be careful. It's a little like walking on eggshells when we're recruiting those younger people into our clubs. We value them because they're young, but we also need to look at them at more than just a number, more than just a human resource. These people have names. These people have, ongoing things that they're dealing with in their lives. And we're not just recruiting them because they happen to be under age 40, but, what else do they bring to the table? What talents do they have? What ideas do they have? We can't just overwhelm them with membership applications right out of the gate. Let's talk to them. Let's find out, what are you looking for in a Kiwanis club? What would appeal to you? And so whether it's a Voices club or a more traditional Kiwanis club, ultimately it's up to that young person to decide, do I want to be a part of Kiwanis?
Right. And age 40, you're being very generous, by the way. Go ahead, Val. You said under age 40, you're being very generous with that age level, with that age floor, I think, in most clubs. But anyway, Val, you were going to make a point before I brought up it looks like we lost her again. That's okay. All right. So far, we've talked about the value of what it means for an individual to join a Voices Club or individuals to create a Voices Club. Let's go to the other side of the fence. What's the benefit to the Kiwanis Club? Though some of the benefits would be obvious. Let's talk about some of the pluses to the club side that would sponsor a Kiwanis Voices Club. John, talk about it from that side.
Well, I think one of the immediate benefits is that it doesn't break the bank. Sponsoring a new Voices Club is only $100 fee, and I would think most Kiwanis clubs should be able to raise that just by passing the hat around the room. So it's a very inexpensive process. You would be there sort of to mentor and guide the club just as you would for any other brand new Kiwanis club. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or 70 years old. There's going to be questions when you're starting a new club. How do we run a meeting? How do we fill out this form? How do we file our taxes? That sort of thing. So there's going to be some need for mentorship always as the club is getting off the ground. But from a Kiwanis standpoint, the immediate benefit is, okay, you've got a new club in your division, and that means more volunteers for service, more opportunities to interact with other Kiwanians. So it really is beneficial. Anytime we add a club, obviously we're growing the organization. That's what we're trying to do. But you're also introducing new people to the Kiwanis family. And, maybe Kiwanis Voices doesn't work in every neighborhood, but if it works somewhere, anywhere,
sure,
then I think it's worth the effort because you're introducing new people to Kiwanis.
How many Voices clubs, if you know this, have chartered since its inception in April?
So I haven't heard of any that have fully chartered yet. Again, the
Oh,
program's
okay.
only, I mean, it's less than 6 months old at this point. So I'm not aware of any. There may be some out there that I'm not aware of, but I don't think we have any in our district yet. Some
Okay.
good news on that front, though. We do have in your old stomping grounds, Division 28, Las Vegas, California, or Nevada.
Right.
I was going to say California, Nevada,
No,
Hawaii.
California is going to become part of Nevada soon. Don't worry about it.
Right, yes. But out in Division 28, we do have a past Circle K governor who is a high school teacher and a key club advisor at Valley High School.
Who's that?
His name is Aaron, actually, Aaron Pena.
Okay.
Aaron is a past Circle K governor, and apparently he's very well connected with some of the past key clubbers who have been through his school and through some of the Division 28 key clubs. And they're having an informational meeting this weekend. I believe tomorrow, October 4th, they're having a preliminary meeting to gauge their interest and see if they can get 15 members to sign up for the Kiwanis Voices program. And depending on who you talk to, I've spoken to a few people about this. It could happen as soon as this weekend. Wow. If they can get 15 people to sign up, we may have our first Kiwanis Voices Club in the CNH district. So,
good.
Obviously, I wish them well. They are meeting this weekend. I want to say 10 a.m. tomorrow, Saturday.
Okay.
And I have a link somewhere. I can try and put that in the chat.
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great. John will pick it up. You know, it's interesting about tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 4th, October 4th, 10-4. So for all you Citizen Band radio people out there, happy CB Day tomorrow. I used to have one. I still remember my call sign. Can't remember what I had for breakfast a couple hours ago, but I remember my call sign from when I was like 15, and even remember the call letters on my handle. But anyway, I digress. So what else can make Voices unique for clubs around? Now, it's not just obviously the American clubs. This is something that's available worldwide. Yes,
it is, and in fact, it was very much the Europe. Confederation, the European Confederation of Kiwanis, that sort of inspired this program in the first place, because in Europe they don't have American high schools, they don't have American colleges and universities set up the same way that we do.
Right.
You know, the system is different over there, and so traditionally, you know, Key Club has had some difficulty establishing a foothold there. Circle K especially has been had some difficulty getting established in Europe. But what they did have for many years was a program called Kiwanis Junior, and that was a program that appealed to younger people. And that's sort of where Kiwanis Voices, it's sort of a spiritual successor to the Kiwanis Junior program, where you don't necessarily need to be attached to a school to join the organization. But it's something that we hope will appeal to a younger generation.
Right on. Good, Val, take it away before hopefully we don't lose you again.
Well, I'm at that point where I'm going, okay, if I fall out one more time, I apologize to the Kiwanis world. But John, one of the things I am looking forward to in this process is that literally it fills a gap in the lifespan of our Kiwanis family. And that's because there are so many people that don't go to college right out of high school. And so that number is growing, where they take a gap year, and so they can't join a Circle K, or they go into a technical trade school where there aren't clubs and organizations. And there's been a lot of industry push for people to go into specialty training, and so they get out of the habit of doing Kiwanis. Because you had talked about a little bit earlier about why do people just stop, and it's because it becomes a habit. And when you're used to doing Kiwanis and you don't stop, you just want to keep going. So this gives those folks a chance, I think.
Yeah, I could never quit cold turkey like that, and I don't know how other people do it. I've never understood that. But when I was growing up, the idea was you're either going to college or you're going into the military, and those are your two options. It's like, that's it. You're either going to college or you're going to the military. And things have evolved since then, even in the 30 years since I've been in high school. You're right. People are taking gap years. People are taking other avenues into their adult life. Community colleges, I think, are probably more popular than ever, especially out here in California. People have figured out that you don't need to go to a 4-year school for all 4 years. You can get your undergraduate work done at a less expensive school and then transfer. And that's having an effect on Circle K membership because it is getting harder to recruit at those 4-year schools. It's very difficult to keep a Circle K club going at a 2-year school, with very rare exceptions. Because by the time you have students that are fully committed and trained and know how to be officers, all of a sudden they're changing schools. So those are some of the difficulties that Circle K has been facing in recent years. I mentioned earlier that retention out of Key Club has not been good. And especially since COVID did a number on our Circle K membership. Circle K has been struggling, and it's not to the level where we want it to be. So this gives an opportunity, Kiwanis Voices gives an opportunity for those people who can't join Circle K for one reason or another. Maybe they're not going to college. Maybe there isn't a Circle K club where they're going to school. This gives them a new opportunity to keep their involvement, the service that they love, the fellowship that they love, everything about the Kiwanis family that they've always wanted to keep. You know, just because you graduate doesn't mean Kiwanis has to stop. Doesn't mean Key Club has to stop. You can continue. You can take that next step and enjoy the next phase of your Kiwanis family career.
You know, so I would love to just put a pathway or a roadmap out there that Kiwanis clubs follow, which is, you know, they start in K Kids and they automatically get an invitation and a membership into Builders Club. And at the Builders Club, the seniors, when they graduate from high school, adopt a Builders Club that's moving up into the high school. And then a Voices adopts half of the graduating seniors, and the Circle Ks adopt the other half. And then our Kiwanis clubs go in and say, happy birthday. Oh, confetti, here's your honorary membership for 3 months because we want you to be our member, and give them that honorary. And then they just keep going.
That's the model.
Yeah. And I think we can implement that model in a way that people feel good about it, because going back to Aaron's, it's like, why would I be recruiting for this when my club is hurting? And I think that, you know, I've thought about this a ton. And one of the pieces is that when you have a Voices, you have more compatriots to do service. And as they build that relationship, it gives them the opportunity to want to make that transition. It's just another way to get them hooked, because if you have a really good relationship with your Key Clubbers, they'll want to join your club versus going into Circle K. They get excited. But if they're only brought in, you know, I saw this in a club that I was coaching, and I was like, my head just almost exploded. They wanted younger members because they were strong like ox. They could take out the garbage, they could put up the stage, they could take down the stage, but they didn't want them on committees until they were at least 25.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. We need to stop treating our younger members like cattle.
Or kids.
Like I mentioned earlier, they have their own unique interests, their own unique talents that they're bringing to the table, and we need to treat every one of them individually. Find out what appeals to them. Hey, you want to join a Kiwanis club? Well, what is it that you're looking for to get out of Kiwanis? You know, how can we serve you? How can we keep your interest, rather than just, oh, hey, here's somebody who's of a certain age, let's rope them on in. It doesn't work like that, and these young people are smart enough to see through that. They know when they're being treated as a number. So we, like I said earlier, we have to be, you know, delicate about how we approach younger people to join the club. But once they're there, we got to make them feel welcome. Got to make them feel welcome.
I want to mention that I'm sure John will tell you where to get information for Kiwanis Voices, but you can do what I simply did. Bring up your Google bar, type in Kiwanis Voices, and guess where it'll take you? It'll take you to the Kiwanis International site with all the drop downs and information that you could ever want, including downloadable materials that you can go over and introduce with your club, potential members, as well as all the guidelines, features, pros and cons, and what's required or expected as a Kiwanis Club sponsoring a Voices Club, or for a Kiwanis Voices Club, and what the hope and expectation could be for you as a member. So it is all available under the resources tab on Kiwanis International's website. I'm sure John, like I said, he's probably got, there you go. He's got a link in our private chat. So John in Vegas, if you'd please copy that and show that on screen. All right. Normally I would step aside for a break right now, but with Val's internet kind of going kinky on us, did you want to take care of some of your business first, just in case, Doc Val?
Sure. Why don't we do a wow?
All right. John, Kiwanis wow right now.
So as we were looking into this new Kiwanis year, I've been looking at a number of clubs and organizations that are out there, and I am so excited. And I'm just going to spotlight Cal Neva. We're moving in a new direction with our new governor. I'm doing a shout out to Stephen Gerasi as our 25-26 governor, and putting together this amazing membership team. And I know John Crawford is part of that membership team, but we're really looking at Michael Mulhall, our new international president's timeline, and going, we have people that are working with our current clubs. We have people working to revitalize clubs that are really struggling. And we have a whole bunch of folks that are working on opening new clubs. This is the first time in a long time where we have a full team that's moving forward, because Kiwanis needs members. And why do we need members? It's because there are kids out there that need us. There are communities out there that need us and what we do. We're the one organization that's not political. We're not religious. And we try to stay out of the muck that is going on around in the world. We're trying to make it better. And the only way to do that is through organizations like Kiwanis. So that's my wow.
There you have it. John Crawford, you seem to have a wow as well.
I did. I have a wow that I need to mention. Out here I'm in San Diego, and in our East County Division 31, they just put on an incredible event, a big fundraiser, 3 clubs collaborating together. The Kiwanis Club of La Mesa, the Kiwanis Club of Fletcher Hills, the Kiwanis Club of Greater Hamul. They all got together and collaborated on what they call the Twilight Tasting. And what that is, it's a big fundraiser for them. They bring in wine vendors, they bring in local restaurants with sample platters. They have it at this outdoor conservation garden. It's a beautiful venue. They even bring out an astronomer with a telescope. So last year when I went to this event, they bring out the telescope. I could see the rings on Saturn, and it was just an amazing event. It's called the Twilight Tasting. It goes from dusk until whenever they let out. It's a nighttime event. Lots of food. But these 3 Kiwanis clubs that are not all that big, they collaborated and they made $18,000 in a single night. And it's just an amazing, successful event. And so congratulations to them. I know the clubs are going to split that money 3 ways, but that's their budget for the whole year. I think they did an amazing job.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
All right. So with that, John is looking to pull something up for me to show regarding the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake. I'll just verbally share it while John is looking for the flyer. October 11th is the pickup day, but the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake here in Virginia is now going through their annual pork butt sales. So you can imagine all the fun conversation we're having about rubbing pork butt next week and getting it ready to cook around here in this part of the world. For $55, you get 5 pounds of meat, coleslaw, buns, and all that stuff. The pickup date is October 11th, or if you just want the meat, if you're in the local area, you can get a 2-pound bucket of just the meat. I don't recall the price off the top of my head, but if you go to the Kiwanis Club, Kiwanis of Chesapeake, on Facebook or on their website, you can certainly check out the pricing there. Again, pickup will be scheduled on October 11th. All prepaid orders there. We are not accepting cash the day of pickup. We want to make sure that this way it's a quick and easy, smooth transition for picking up your butt. I'll just leave that out there because every time we talk about this in the meeting, I always say in Vegas, that has a whole different meaning. So we'll just leave it. So hopefully John will find the flyer. If not, no big deal. Let's have it ready. Okay. So John, make sure it's ready for tomorrow, if you don't mind, for Aaron's hour. Okay. With that, it is 1:15. Let's go to Mental Health Moment. If it's queued up and ready to go with Melissa Atwell. Take it away, Melissa.
Every time someone shares their mental health truth or their journey, their story, the stigma cracks a little bit more. Your vulnerability is powerful. Keep talking. Keep listening to others. Someone out there needs your courage to find their own. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. mentalhealthmoment.org. Check it out. Make a donation. And by the way, regarding Mental Health Moment, real soon, some news could be breaking about some fundraising opportunities with them as well. Go ahead, Doc Val.
I just want to do a special shout out, especially to Melissa. I know that today is a really big day in her world. And so, Melissa, we're sending out lots and lots of love and support for you. And I'm hoping that you are getting ready for next Friday, because that is the day that we open the Kiwanis Club of Nevada for mental health care.
Nice.
Yes, next week. By the way, I'm glad you brought that back up. Next week's show will be at a special time kicking off 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. We're going to go 90 minutes next week, because not only do we have the thrilling opportunity to charter a club online, the first of its kind. So I hope KI is watching this as well next week, that we can charter these clubs during the show. But also, too, our special featured guest will be Connor from bookvending.com. If you were at Kiwanis International's convention in Pittsburgh back in June, then you probably had an opportunity to meet Connor. Last week's show with Andre, I sent an email to try to connect the both of those individuals, but both Doc Val and I have this vision of having all the books from literacy engineers with Andre possibly being in one of those machines. How cool would that be next week if they get their voice? Yeah, absolutely. There you go. So a lot going on in the Kiwanis world. All right, before we wrap up with John and get to bad dad jokes, we're going to step aside for our last break of the show. Hopefully, Doc Val will be with us when we come back if our internet doesn't crap out. So everybody, please pray that still holds true for the next 15 minutes. All right, you're watching Kiwanis Connects. We'll be back with more. Hopefully, Mr. Crawford, I'm sure he is prepared with some bad dad jokes, because when he's not a guest, he feeds them in the chat room too. So I'm sure he's prepared.
I got one locked and loaded.
All right, Kiwanis Connects. We'll be right back.
I won't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh, yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
Hey everybody, Aaron Phillips here from the Kiwanis Connect show. Are you trying to recruit for new members? Do you have a huge event coming up that maybe is your biggest fundraiser of the year? But you need to do something different to let people know that it's happening. The same old gives you the same old routine and results. Well, we've got an idea for you. The Kiwanis Connect show offers the opportunity to have customized commercials created to help your club get your message out. And you know what? One of the extra wonderful points of this opportunity is we provide it as a fundraising opportunity. For every $50 donation for the commercial goes to the Rose Float Kiwanis Club. That's right. The very same Rose Float that we see on television every New Year's that represents Kiwanis International will now be supported by these Kiwanis Connects commercials. So if you want more information and get involved, just drop us an email at KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. That's KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. Get your 30, 60, or 90-second customized commercial today, and let's help the Rose Float Kiwanis Club continue to plant its seeds for success.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level, and without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchy's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. We are coming around the clubhouse turn on today's show. Before we get to bad dad jokes, nonprofit themes, Val, I'll ask you and John to kind of tie up the conversation on Kiwanis Voices in a neat little bow, if you don't mind.
All right. So as I'm looking through all of these different options, one of the things I think this year we really need to be open-minded about is how do we invite more members to be a part of this great organization? Kiwanis Voices is a phenomenal way to start, and single focus clubs are another. And so we'll talk more about that later on in our video season. But I absolutely am so grateful, John, that you came and helped bust some myths and actually share your information so more people can contact you.
Well, and there's one more that I still think we need to bring up as far as myth busting goes. I know a lot of younger people who are currently in college and currently in Circle K maybe took a step back and raised an eyebrow when the Kiwanis Voices program was first announced. But I want to make it clear that the Kiwanis Voices program is in no way an attack on Circle K. It is not meant to replace Circle K. We love Circle K. We want to see it thrive and continue. They just celebrated their 75th anniversary. We want to see them continue for 75 more. In a perfect world, we can have a Kiwanis Voices club and a Circle K club serving side by side. So nobody's trying to replace Circle K. We want them both to succeed. We want them both to continue for many generations to come.
Awesome.
Perfect. All right, Doc Val, anything else before we get into bad dad jokes?
With the new year, there's a new declaration. So I'm actually putting it out there at this point in time. I am putting together my committee, and I'm putting together a listening tour because I believe it's important that as we move forward in Kiwanis, our representatives actually listen to the people and ask them what's important. So the very first listening tour that I'll be doing as international trustee candidate is to talk about remote voting. And so I will open up a Zoom for up to 1,000 people to be able to attend on Wednesday, October 15th. And that will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully it's not too late for our folks on the Eastern Seaboard. And
I'll take an extra nap that day.
All right, we'll have an hour-long conversation, and maybe we can actually put together a resolution that will pass.
There you go. Sounds like a plan. By the way, cheap plug, you see the jersey that Doc Val is wearing right now? You too can look as cool as she does in that jersey. Simply send an email to kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com for all your ordering information. Kiwanis Connects comes as part of the jersey, but if you want the number, if you want your name on the back, I will give you all the pricing info you need and all the steps. So kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. All right, John, it is your turn to get us started with bad dad jokes. Let's get rock and roll. Let's hear what you got locked and loaded, as you said.
Well, mine doesn't really fit with the theme, but
that's okay.
Did you know that a dog can bark up to 500 times a day? Of course, that's just a rough estimate.
I would say who let the dogs out, but John has to first start my intro for this segment. John, hit it. The show's going to the dogs. All right, here you go. Today's theme, nonprofits. Hey, why did Duracell donate batteries for their matching gift program? It was very kind of them, by the way, that they did this. Why did Duracell donate batteries for the matching gift program, you ask? They were free of charge. Okay. All right. Why did Coca-Cola's recycling plant stop its giving program? Coca-Cola stopped the recycling plant, stopped its giving program. It was so depressing. Okay, that'll come to you. Melissa Atwell, that one was for you, my friend. Okay.
I got it. Well,
We'll leave it
delayed.
like that one. That's good. All right. Feel free to use these at dinner time, by the way, or while you're stopped by a cop. They love to laugh at when they're giving you a ticket. Anyway, did you hear about the fraud case against the I Can't Believe It's Not Butter CSR program? Did you hear about it? And I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. You didn't hear about it? That's okay. I don't want to spread it, so I'm not going to share it. Why was the camping fundraiser so crazy? Why was the camping fundraiser so crazy? Because it was intense. Camping, tent. Okay. All right. Why is Cinderella so bad at organizing fundraising events? Why is Cinderella so bad at organizing fundraising events? She's always running away from the ball. John, I saw you chuckle before John put the graphic up. I saw it. I got it. Here you go. A couple more. How much do pirates donate on average? How much do pirates donate on average to fundraising? Any clue? If you don't know, they donate $1 an ear.
That's kind of cute.
You like that one? Is Andy laughing? That's all I care about. Andy's got to be laughing somewhere. Hey, why did the clown donate his salary? Did you hear about this? The clown. I'm not talking the Joker clown, by the way. Why did the clown donate his salary? Well, why not? It was a nice gesture. Two more, I promise. What does the spicy donor do when they don't get a thank you note? Did you hear about this one? What did the spicy donor do when they don't get a thank you note? They get all up in your face. They all get up in your face. Okay, never mind. That was a tough one grammatically.
Yeah, I see what you're trying to do there. Yes.
Yeah. This is kind of spicy, but
yeah. Last one, not as spicy, thank goodness. Why did the nonprofit chemistry STEM fundraiser fail? Why did the nonprofit chemistry STEM fundraiser fail?
Just ran out of steam.
Didn't get a reaction. And that does it for this week's edition of Bad Dad Jokes. Mercifully, I have no idea what I'm going to do next week. Quite frankly, folks, I come up with the theme about 30 minutes before showtime, and it shows, doesn't it? Okay, anyway.
We'll send you a book.
That explains a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. With that, John Crawford, thank you for being on with us. Once again, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, my friend. You are probably one of the most knowledgeable Kiwanians of all there is about Kiwanis, probably in the Kiwanis world, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's 34 years this month that I've been involved.
There you go. Drive safe. Awesome. By the way. Drive safe now.
Happy Kiwaniversary.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Doc Val, final thoughts as we head into the wrap-up here.
Every new year, you get an opportunity to reinvent yourself, and you get an opportunity to reprioritize what is important to you. So as you look into this new year, it coincides with many other new years. I hope that Kiwanis is one of your main priorities. Serving others always makes the end of the year a gift. So thank you so much for being here.
There you go. Great words, as always, from Doc Val. All right, everybody, just a quick programming note. Tomorrow, Aaron's Hour, 11 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Tomorrow's show will feature Magali Fernandez from iLifestyle's Global Celebrity Grudge Match, Jay Vadney, Hero Program, how he uses the trips that iLifestyle Global uses to raise funds for nonprofits, and a treat, some of the folks from the Cancun Resort Reservations Department that are all part of this, how 3 different companies all come together to benefit nonprofit organizations fundraising and giving back. And that, my friends, is what it's all about. All right, everybody, with that, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. Have a great week. Before we see you next Friday, remember, 90 minutes, special start time, 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. Connor from bookvending.com and a new club charter. We'll see you next time. See ya.